Okay. So I hope you slept well. You are feeling okay. This is our last day. And can we start, or are we going to wait for somebody? Or I will admit them during the presentation. Okay. So I don't want us to be late, or because we have a lot of activities for today. So we are supposed to start. Okay, so I will give a word to my colleague Dominika, and she prepared a presentation about English language art. So let's go, Domi.
Thank you, Danny. Just a second, musíš mi povoliť, aby som mohla zdieľať. Okay, share sound. Okay, can you see the presentation, everyone?
Yeah.
Good. Fine. I will just hide your faces. Fine. The standards establishing guidelines for English language arts. To start with, I would like to start with what ELA stands for and present a little bit of theory about language as a whole. So language art, aka English language arts, is the study and improvement of the arts of language. Traditionally, the primary division in language arts are literature and language. It is a structured system of communication used by humans, and it includes speech, spoken language, gestures, and also writing. It is a tool to communicate meaning among people, to understand each other, to share ideas, to establish and develop businesses, and so on. It is also a cultural attribute. Every nation or every ethnic group has different values, beliefs, customs, and also different languages. A few more words about language, about origins of language. The origin still remains a speculation. We don't know when and where the language started. Just to mention, okay? Fine. There are more than 6,000 languages and still counting because, as I mentioned, each ethnic group has its own language and it can be created immediately, a new language. The speculation about the origin of language, I just wanted to mention that there are the main theories. It is the divine source, and that the language came to be from natural sound source. Although we don't know the origin of language, we know about functions of language, and these are the need of cooperation between people, between countries, between nations, and also, as I mentioned, it is to communicate knowledge, skills, information, develop businesses, etc. Yeah, to interact with others socially or emotionally. Now I would like to move on to English language and to the teaching and learning English. We have two aspects how to perceive English and its learning, because it is not the same to learn English and to learn English. There must be used different approaches and different steps to teach English, because those people who learn English do not belong to the Anglo-American family. These two approaches are ESL and EFL. I will go through both of these disciplines, explain them, describe them, find differences, and picture what methods should be used when teaching ESL and EFL. So ESL stands for English as a Second Language, and EFL stands for English as Foreign Language. Although this might seem very similar, it is not, and I will show you why. The English as a second language learner is someone who is learning English in a country where English is the official language, while the English as a foreign language learner is someone who is learning English in a country where English is not official or dominant language. So let's say English second language are people who came to Great Britain as an immigrants and want to become a part of the society, while EFL learning is maybe even us when we are trying to teach our students. I will describe what an ESL and EFL classroom looks like so that you can imagine what, what are the students like. According to the group of people that are in the classroom, I will portray what the classroom looks like. An ESL classroom. Here, English is the dominant language. The students are usually immigrants or visitors. The class is usually of mixed nationalities, so students don't share a native language or a common culture and don't have the same social background. Outside the classroom, students have a specific practical need for English. It may be business or their job. Students have extensive daily exposure to English-speaking culture, although their understanding may be limited by their language skills. And if, sorry, I skipped a video that I wanted to share. So just a second. Musím dať new share však. Can you see the video? Vidíte tam to video?
Yes.
All right, great. Okay. I just got to go pick up my books. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
No problem. I'll be right here.
Nice to see you again, Maria.
Hello, Mrs. Lafferty.
Oh, welcome. What is your name?
I'm Joey.
Joey, you have a wonderful accent.
Thank you.
Joey, this is an English as a second language class for beginners. Are you sure you're in the right place?
Oh, I'm in the right place.
Let's get started. I hope that everybody practiced counting to 10 over the weekend.
Yes.
Great. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12.
Very good, boys. Somebody's gonna get a gold star.
Thanks. Thanks. 13, 14, 15.
Okay, so this is what an ESL classroom looks like, and Joey is definitely not part of ESL classroom. Niekto si vypnite, prosím, zvuk a mikrofón. Okay, thank you. An EFL classroom, so it is in... Okay, I just hear some echoing of myself. Thank you. An EFL classroom. Prosím vás, can you close the door? Thank you. English is not the dominant language. Excuse me. Here, students share the same language and culture and also social background. The teacher may not be the only native English speaker they have exposure to. Outside the classroom, students have very few opportunities to use English, and therefore students have limited exposure to English-speaking culture. They most often hear and learn English through TV, music, podcasts, movies, series, etc. Again, just a short video to show you what an EFL teacher should not be like?
S udržateľným kakaom a recyklovateľným obalom.
Za 20 sekúnd dokážete navštíviť spa, bar aj knižnicu. S inteligentnou domácnosťou IKEA si nastavíte svetlo a hudbu tak, aby ste si atmosféru miest, ktoré máte radi, vytvorili doma. Stačí kliknúť. IKEA Home Smart. Inteligentná domácnosť pre každého.
Okay, so IKEA was not that.
Thanks very much. Is this free? Yes. Great. Could I register for one of your courses, please?
Of course you can. Do you have the reference number there?
I do. It's EF4, English as a foreign language, beginner's level.
And can I take your name?
Yes, you can. It's Jackie O'Farrell.
And the name of the person who will be taking the course?
Jackie O'Farrell.
Sorry, it's for yourself?
Well, yes.
But you are English?
Well, I know that.
So you speak English already then, presumably?
Well, of course I do, but I only speak English. I don't know how to speak it as a foreign language.
There's maybe been a bit of a misunderstanding.
Just listen. Foreign people can't understand a word I'm saying at the moment. I travel abroad quite often, so it's going to benefit them and me.
Yeah, but English as a foreign language is English.
That's not a problem.
Look, I think maybe with the communication abroad thing, what you're really looking for is just a simple foreign language.
Could you, don't tell me what I do and don't want to study. I don't want to do that. That is too difficult. I want to start with something easy.
I think you may find it of limited use, given that you do already speak English.
I want to learn it as a foreign language.
English is just English. What about teaching as a foreign language?
Yeah.
Teaching English as
well,
a foreign
until I can speak English as a foreign language, I can't very well teach it to anyone, can I?
English is only a foreign language to foreign people. You can only learn English as foreign if you yourself are foreign to English. Shall I do a Venn diagram?
Don't draw anything. Do you do foreign as an English language?
You could try Robin. I think he's in charge of that. E4.
Oslavte s nami.
And back to the presentation again. Okay, so that was a very eager student to learn English as a foreign language. Now, teaching ESL versus teaching EFL. It is different because the difference influences the content and methods used to teach English. Teaching ESL, students usually learn general English so that they feel comfortable in school and they can communicate well. They want to develop a language and skills that will help them to be successful in their other classes, history, mathematics, etc., which are all in English. And besides school, they have extensive daily exposure to English-speaking culture. On the other hand, teaching EFL, English is usually taught in a traditional way. It is based on step-by-step learning of grammatical structures in a graded order of difficulty. I will talk about this graded order of difficulty in a while. The learner has to master the language in his class, and he has no chance to practice English outside his classroom. Also, practicing English only via the internet, YouTube, social media, TV series, movies, music, podcasts, as I have already mentioned, a few sources. Okay, so what ESL students need? They need English lessons to be suitable for their immediate needs. If you have got a class full of recent immigrants struggling with how to fill out their forms, you have to teach them how to fill out forms. They don't need to learn anything besides what they really need. If you have got a group of foreign doctoral students, then teach them how to talk to their academic advisors and to to be able to communicate in the medicine world. Explicit cultural instructions. These students come from many different places and all are very different from one another. So we have to also teach them about cultural norms, to teach them how to get along in society, tell them how people see their culture, and to give them the background also of culture that they need and that they live in. Bridges towards integration. As an ESL teacher, you may not consider yourself a guidance counselor, but ready to suggest concrete ways for your students to address their daily problems in the community that they live in. If it means referring them to an immigrant assistance association or helping them to apply for a job online, you are likely to be the first person that they ask for help. So you have to equip yourself with the knowledge you need and to be ready to do more research when asked. As an EFL student, he needs lots of practical use in English and especially orally. We have to get these students to speak in the classroom, but also teach them where they can find opportunities to practice speaking English outside the classroom. Exposure to living English. Never lead your students to believe that English is a set of rules and words just to memorize. It is the living creation and communication that is used all around the world. So do whatever you can to reveal this depth. BEMPOS, non-traditional teaching materials, and field trips are also great ways to make English come alive for your students. Hopefully our project is also the same. And last but not least, reasons to learn English and motivation to stick with it. English can be very theoretical when you're growing up in a village in, let's say, Belarus. You have to find out about each student's other passions and tie them to English language. There are so many English communities online and who are possible to help in any other area of interest. Social networks are very powerful tools for this as well. Okay, so back to the order of difficulty of English language is the English language levels. It is the CEFR. It is a standard common European framework of reference for languages. These are the 6 levels that are widely accepted as the global standard for grading and individuals' language proficiency. CEFR English levels are used by all modern English language books and English language schools. These are the 6 levels. It is from A1 to C2. And now I will go into a deep with with each of the level. Here is just an overview and summary. So from the breakthrough to the mastery of your language. A levels, which are the English basic user. A1 is a beginner and A2 is an elementary level. Beginner, he can understand and use everyday expressions and basic phrases aimed at the satisfaction of needs of a concrete type. He can introduce himself or herself and the others. He can ask and answer questions about personal details such as where one lives, people she knows, things that she has, and he can interact in a simple way when the other person talks slowly and clearly. A2, elementary. He can understand sentences and frequently used expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance, a very basic personal and family information, shopping, local geography, employment, school. He can simply communicate about daily routines and routine tasks that are required. and he can describe in simple terms aspects of his or her background, immediate environment, and matters in areas of immediate need. Next level are B levels. These are English independent users. B1 intermediate and B2 upper intermediate level. B1 can understand the main points of clear standard input on familiar matters regularly encountered in work, school, leisure, etc. He can deal with most common situations, can produce simple connected text on topics which are familiar or of personal interest, and can describe experiences and events, dreams, hopes, and briefly give reasons and explanations for opinions. Upper intermediate can understand the main ideas of complex text on both concrete and abstract topics, including technical discussions. He has a degree of fluency and spontaneity in interaction with native speakers. He has no strain for either party, and he can project and explain viewpoint on a topic that is talked about. Also can give advantages and disadvantages of various options. C levels, the highest level, proficient English user. C1 is an advanced level, and C2 proficiency level. Meaning he can express herself himself fluently and spontaneously. He can use language flexibly and effectively for social, academic, and professional purposes. He can produce clear, well-structured, and detailed text on complex subjects, showing a controlled use of organizational patterns, connectors, and cohesive devices. C2 proficiency can excuse me, can understand with ease virtually everything heard or read, can summarize information from different spoken and written sources. He can reconstruct arguments and accounts in a coherent presentation, and can express oneself spontaneously, very fluently and precisely, differentiating finer shades of meaning and in even more complex situations. And now back to the EFL and ESL teaching methods. For EFL, keep instructions clear and simple. Okay, so keep instructions clear and simple. A student who has only a few words of English, if any at all, won't appreciate and understand the courtesy. Instead, make your instructions very clear by using just a few words that are necessary and by gesturing whenever possible. Break down the series of instructions into smaller units. If you want to be polite, please and thank you. Will do. Everybody take your book, please stand up now. Come here, please. Thank you. Just a very short instructions that these people can memorize, and then next time know what you want from them. Let them listen first. Don't pressure students into speaking before they have had a lot of opportunities to listen to you and to listen to the things they are supposed to know. Drill, repeat, drill, repeat, and so on. Beginners need lots of repetition and drilling, and mainly younger students. They have to get the grips of the sound of the new language they are learning. It might seem boring to go over the same sentences again and again, but it is necessary for them so that they can memorize it. Establish classroom language early on. It is much better to equip students with the classroom language that will help them to navigate the lessons smoothly. For example, open your class book, close your class book, take out your exercise book, close the door, open the door, and so on. Avoid meta language. There is no point in students knowing the terms past simple, irregular verb, or adverbs of frequency if they can't use the actual structures of words they refer to. Don't tell them how to say something, show them how to say something. Again, it is about the repetition. They don't need to know which tense, what is the name of each tense, but they can get used, they have to get used to using it. And last but not least, don't forget that your students are fluent in their own language. When listening to somebody speaking broken English, you don't always have to correct them and correct their errors and mispronunciation. I have a short video I want to show you where you should try to avoid this situation. Dúfam, že sa mi to otvorí. Ide? Okay, a second. I have played the video, but you cannot see it, right? Share sound. Okay, now can you see the video? The YouTube? Okay.
Hello, hi. What is it? What's the matter?
My family.
Yeah?
My family all dies in crash.
In a crash.
In a crash, my family dies.
Yeah, you probably say have died. Actually, you probably use the past perfect. It's an action that happens in the recent past that's still the case now. Your family is still dead. So you'd say, my family have all died in a crash.
It was an incident.
Accident.
It was an accident on a mountain road.
A mountain road. A mountain road. The article thing again.
The lorry was swerved and was hitting the car.
Not was swerved. No, I've confused you now, haven't I? Sorry, is this insensitive? It's just it's simple past. Because it's an action that happened in the past and is finished. The lorry swerved once. Is it still swerving now? No, it swerved once and killed your family. So the lorry swerved, or you could be Flash, and you could say, the lorry smashed into my family car, killing the occupants. Yeah?
The lorry smashed into my family car.
Yep.
Killing my mother.
Yep.
My father and my neighbor.
Yeah, you see, very, very, very good. That's brilliant. Your English is really improving, Paola. So that's some sort of consolation, isn't it? Hmm? Take care. See you later.
Okay, so that was the insensitive English teacher, always trying to correct. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, I have to get. A moment, please. Ja som to celé vypla. Fine, here we are. Okay, and just a few more tips about learning and teaching. So try to expose students to as much of language as possible, trying to limit their native language and focus on the target one in your interactions with the students. Even if they don't know everything, they can still easily learn simple classroom commands. Get hands-on, encourage participation with games. Learning a new language should not be a passive experience. You should get your students involved in games and role playing. It is essential for recreating real-world scenarios in which students would use their language skills. Also, for younger students, using role plays as a form of game can be also very funny and enriching at the same time. Teach culture alongside the language. It is not enough to simply teach speaking. Students also must understand the meaning behind the language, use the news to demonstrate the important issues of the day in target language country. This is more for the adult learners or for older students. Use multimedia to enhance the learning experience. We each know at least one person who studied many years of language in a high school, and when he has to order a coffee, it comes that he cannot order a cup of coffee. So often this is because the student isn't taught to think and speak in a real world environment. You have to get your students ready for the real world by using television, film, radio broadcasts, at least to give them a hint of the language flow, how gestures are used, and how quickly native speakers converse. Last point, encourage activities outside the classroom. To effectively learn a new language, students need to be as engaged as possible even when outside of the classroom. Give your students the tool to practice beyond textbook homework by assigning exercises that require interacting with real people. The idea is to expose your students to how language is used in the real world while giving them examples of practical application. Okay, so thank you for your attention about my ELA presentation. And if you have any questions, since I love them, feel free to ask.
I have a question. What does MGR mean in front of your name?
Okay, that is the title that I got after finishing the university. You have a pedagogical, not title, degree. Okay, so when you study a master's degree in pedagogy and also in when you finish pedagogical and philosophical faculties, you get MGR. If you finish technical university, you get ING.
What title do you have? In Serbia?
I don't have a title. We had two different programs. Now master's degree students study 5 years and they have a certain number of ESP points. And before that, I graduated in 2004, and then we did not go by Bologna. So I just have like 7th level. I don't know. We don't have a title for a professor of English language and literature. Just that. But I don't use prof. That like professor is for someone who has doctorate and someone who teaches at the university or something like that.
That's interesting.
We don't put this. Even if you are master, usually people don't put these titles.
Because at our universities, after 3 years, you get the bachelor degree. This is the abbreviation is BC.
Of course, but that's according to Bologna. Before that, we just had bachelor degree with 4 years, which is more than today's bachelor degree in points, and that's it. But now you have 3 bachelor degrees and then 2 more master's degree. And
that's the same.
We are like in the middle.
No, we had, Scotta was trying to explain that we had 4 years on university. After that, a year to finish your work, something like a master degree today. But we were supposed to do diploma work, something like that, for a master degree.
But I said that they are different
Yes.
points.
Yes.
My bachelor
Of
is
course.
3 years,
Yeah.
different in point.
This is in our country, bachelor degrees are the same for like the same level for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are an English teacher or biology teacher
but
or
I talk about, because before that we had some old program where you have bachelor degrees and you had to study for 4 years. And then we did not have master's degree. It was like a magistrate degree. You had like 1 year more or 2 years more. You had to do some, as Sandra said, some papers and so on.
Okay,
But,
I think that in Slovakia,
2000
in Czechoslovakia was the same before 90s. So they had a kind of a same education we had till 2000 year. And after that, we at least here in Serbia, entered so-called European or world kind of study degrees. So now we have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, so on. Okay.
Yeah, but from 2005, I think 2005, 2006, something like that. Totally irrelevant for your presentation. I'm sorry.
Never mind, at least I learned.
And when you talk about EFL and ESL, I teach both. Although at school I teach ESL in Chinese, and with them I have to communicate only in English, plus they have to use it at their work, for instance. So that would be something like that.
And since you have personal experience, what?
But of course, it's easier to teach EFL because even when your students cannot understand some instructions, you can use your native language and explain. When you teach ESL, and when they cannot understand some simple instructions, you have to simplify even very simple instructions. And if that doesn't work, you use your hands, you use Google Translate, you use anything that you have at your disposal to teach. But usually when I teach ESL, those people have some basic knowledge in English, so they are usually business English, and it's not a problem.
Okay, sad bih ovde samo for our teachers who are like ESL students now, okay? Za naše kolege da prosto objasnimo o čemu smo pričali, da evo i Goca ima i više iskustva, ona radi i kao EFL teacher, to bi značilo to svi radimo u školi, da radimo sa našim đacima, kada iskoristimo i svoj jezik da snimo nešto, a kad smo ESL teachers, tad radimo kao profesor ili nastavnici jezika kao drugog jezika. U takvim situacijama najčešće radimo sa učenicima koji ne govore uopšte engleski jezik i onda moramo da koristimo samo engleski jezik dok njima predajemo. To je razlika između SL i FL teachers.
Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. And if you don't have any other questions, just now we are going to have 10 minutes break because Dominika has to prepare her kids for her English lesson. Okay, so maybe it will take more or 10 minutes, so be patient, please. And we will see in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, so now it's Dominika's turn again, and she's going to show you her nice English lesson with small kids, I think 9, 10 years old? 9. Yeah, 3 grades. Okay, 3 graders.
3 graders.
Okay, 3 graders. Okay, so see you soon.
Take as much time you need.
See you.